Everyone talks about saving cash, but just because you have cash savings, it does not mean that you are recession-proof. In fact, in 2023 to 2024, 47% of executives expressed sincere concern about job security, and the CEO turnover rate was at its highest at 55%. And they also noticed that in a recession, when executives are displaced and they're unemployed due to recessions, they can lose up to 2.8 times their annual earnings on today's value terms. So that's why the top executives are not primarily focused on saving cash to prepare for a recession. Instead, they're building something way more valuable than cash savings. They're building personal capital. This isn't just about survival. This is about thriving while others retreat. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how these top executives are building this recession-proof capital and how you can do it too, so that you can turn market threats into career-growing opportunities. Keep in mind, there's a difference between personal capital versus traditional capital. Traditional capital are those monetary or physical assets that store or provide value. Things like cash, like investments, real estate, or inventory. Those are things that store and provide value. But oftentimes during a recession, these physical assets, these monetary assets, they diminish in value. But personal assets are different. Personal capital is different because personal capital is far more resistant. Now, in saying this, I'm not saying that you shouldn't save cash. I'm not saying that you shouldn't make investments. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have real estate. That's not what I'm saying. We're strictly here talking about what happens in a recession. How do you prepare yourself for a recession? And what I'm saying is that in a recession, recession-proofing has more to do with building personal assets than it does have to do with saving cash. When it comes to personal capital, there are 4 components to building it. And I'm going to have these 4 components spell the word P. So P-E.A.K, starting with the letter P. So the first component of personal capital is called purpose capital. So what's purpose capital? Purpose capital are the investments that you are making to achieve your executive mission. And I am referring to your life purpose and mission, because chances are maybe you want to become more influential. Maybe you want to have more impact. Maybe you want to be more visible in your organization or in your industry. There's a mission behind your goals, right? For example, it's important to be very clear on your vision and your mission. What is it for you that is meaningful? What is genuinely your vision? So clarify your vision. And then to build that purpose capital, that's part of it. The vision is part of your purpose capital. Then how is that vision going to be fulfilled? What are all the investments you need to make along your journey? What are all the investments you need to make in your skills? The investments you need to make in becoming the person who can carry out that vision, or becoming the leader who can rally a team to carry out that vision. So that is all part and parcel of your purpose capital. The next component of personal capital starts with the letter E, and this is experience capital. Your experience capital makes up the sum of all the things that you gain in your executive experience. They are, for example, your strategic insights, specifically, uniquely, that you've gained in your experience. They also include any proprietary frameworks, any unique methodologies you've developed, any specialized knowledge. That's your experience capital. Anything that you gain, assets that you gain through experience as an executive. So how do you develop that? Developing experience capital is nothing more than making the proper investments to become the person that you need to become to be able to increase your opportunities to have those experiences. You might be listening to this and saying, well, that's great, but it's kind of like a chicken or egg. It's kind of like a catch-22. I need those experience capital. I need that experience in order to gain those insights. But how can I get opportunities to have that experience in order for me to have those insights if I haven't been an executive yet? Exactly. So this is an investment that you need to make in yourself. It might mean that there's certain skill sets to increase your value. It could mean that you need to change the way you communicate your value so that others can see the value of what you reveal to them, and they're happy to give you those opportunities. It might mean that you're making investments to build a personal brand. It might mean that you're making investments to be around others who might have access to things that you wouldn't normally have access to on your own. So these are ways to start investing and building your experience capital. The third component of personal capital starts with the letter A, and A stands for alliance capital. So these are your alliances. So what strategic partnerships do you have? Who do you have in your network? Who do you have that can give you access to things, introduce you to people that are influential? So this is all makes up your alliance capital. And this is really important to focus on because everything you could desire that might be missing currently in your strengths and your access, someone else has it. But how do you develop relationships with those others so that they're willing and they are able to be able to give you access and to bring you into their inner circle? Right? So for example, one way that you can do it is to have board member positions. Another way you can do it is to be a part of masterminds, a meeting of the minds of other peers on your level. So you learn together and learn and grow together. That's one way to do it. Being a part of group coaching programs is a great way to do it. Now you have a group of your peers who are desiring the same goals you do and learning the same things you are. So now you are learning among peers, like-minded peers in group coaching programs. That is a great way to build alliances, and it's a safe environment as well. So this is important. When you build your alliances, this is when you have your capital, and this is where you can start to investigate how to build strategic partnerships. And the fourth component of personal capital starts with letter K, and K is your knowledge capital. When I'm referring to knowledge capital, I'm talking about the wisdom you develop as a result of a depth of understanding of your knowledge. So this is domain mastery. This is developing wisdom, not just learning about things, but learning them deeply so that you can develop your own unique insights. And the way to do this is essentially to become a thought leader. And becoming a thought leader originates from how you think about what you know, how you think about the things that you learn, how you think about the things that you observe around you. It's a whole different way of thinking, right? And I don't have time in this video to talk about all the domains of knowledge that I would recommend that you develop. There's so many of them, and there's so many reasons why. And I wouldn't start naming them because I don't know you, and I don't know where you're starting at. I don't know what your goals are. So I would be doing you a disservice in telling you in this video, giving you a list of all knowledge domains that you should focus on, because I really wouldn't know that. But be aware of these things and start to really think about which domains of knowledge are important and achieve mastery in those domains. It's a cycle of upwards momentum. When you build your purpose capital, that funds your experience capital because it gives you opportunities to experience different and more things. And when you build your experience capital, now that enables your alliance capital because you have experiences, you're exposed to more people. And when you build your alliance capital, now that accelerates your knowledge capital because you're going to be learning from different people in a meeting of the minds. And when you build your knowledge capital, that funds and it accelerates even more purpose capital. It's an upwards momentum cycle. Your personal economy is not determined by GDP, by market cycles, or by economic indicators. Your personal wealth is going to be determined by your ability to build your peak capital, right? This is your purpose capital, your experience, your alliance, and your knowledge. When you build this peak capital, you are recession-proofing your career. And when you recession-proof your career, you build wealth. You see, your wealth is going to be determined by the proportion of problems you solve. When you solve bigger problems, when you solve more people, you help more people with your problems, you can recession-proof your career. Don't wait for economic indicators in order to guide you, in order to ignite you into building your career capital. Start building your capital today. For executives who are serious about becoming recession-proof, I've created an exclusive coaching program. In this coaching program, you're going to learn how to develop multiple streams of executive value, how to create recession-proof assets, how to be able to develop strategic influence in any economy, and how to identify opportunities that others cannot see. So if you're serious about creating this outcome for yourself, click the link below, become a member of our first cohort, and I look forward to working with you on the inside. Make the decision, and your future self will thank you for the decision you make today.